Hundreds of thousands of overseas Filipinos have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic across the globe. How are they now? Here's a glimpse of their situation in numbers. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, there were over 10.3 million overseas Filipinos in 2020. Of these, around 4 million were documented OFWs, and at least 752,000 were undocumented. OFW deployment post-EDSA was on a continuous rise until the pandemic. There were more women OFWs than men in 2019. More than half of female OFWs are in elementary occupations, which include domestic work. Meanwhile, the largest group of male OFWs are plant and machine operators and assemblers. Calabarzon deploys the most OFWs, followed by Central Luzon. OFW's most common destinations in 2019 were Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. More than 760,000 workers are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Health says more than 790,000 OFWs returned or were repatriated by the end of 2020. 67% of returning OFWs went home due to COVID-19. They say that one reason was their contracts were not renewed due to the pandemic. Still, around half of those who returned still plan to migrate again. According to the International Organization for Migration, if the OFWs were to choose which countries they wanted to remigrate to, these would be New Zealand and Canada. Meanwhile, those who returned from Qatar and Kuwait were least likely to return there. When they got home, the biggest challenge OFWs face is finding a new job. 45% want to venture into business, but of this number, 69% do not have capital. Amid the pandemic, the government has shelled out billions to financially aid OFWs and assist them back home. President Duterte also promises to give OFWs a department that will focus on them, despite the many existing agencies already tasked to look after them. Advocacy groups say the government still has to come up with a plan to eventually lessen OFW deployment. Until then, Filipino families will continue to be separated by greener pastures sought abroad.